Greetings, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to this tiny garage.
Join me, if you will, on a miniature flashback-ette to episode 55, where we use this pickle jar-based contraption to vacuum test our Porsche engine. While certainly ridiculous and unwieldy, our DIY fog rig certainly worked well enough for us to find some vacuum leaks. What we're looking at here is a couple of leaks where the brake booster joins the intake manifold. There's a leak right where the hose joins the intake manifold adapter, and then also where that adapter screws onto the manifold itself. We now know that a previous owner had tried to bodge fix these leaks by painting over them with a rubber-like sealant. To take it off the list, I put a small O-ring on the intake manifold adapter, and that did make it stop leaking. That seemed to just leave a leak where the brake booster hose joined the intake manifold adapter. After a temporary fix with some tape while we waited for some parts, the engine seemed to run really quite well, and that's how we left it.
I mean it. Hit that subscribe button.
As if right on cue, thank you to Sally and the team at ANCEL for sending me a diagnostic leak detector. Eagle-eyed viewers will know that we jumped the gun last week and used this device to test our regeneration valve. Today we're going to look at it in more detail. The box at least promises lots of smoke really quickly that won't kill dolphins and won't smell bad. We will be wrangling the base model S1000 today. The fancy pants versions have a gauge on them that will tell you just how bad your leak is. Half of the box space is taken up with the device itself. It just has one button to turn on the air pump and one button to start generating the smoke. This nifty Velcro strap holds the hose that screws into the side. The DC power also plugs in on this side. The casing and all the connectors are made from metal and feel really sturdy. That's the baby oil level gauge. And the handy hook on the top is really handy. So that's it, pretty simple, but it works. The other half of the box is all the little accessories that you need. First off is the power. It runs off a 12-volt battery, which does make sense. It's a little weird on the rear engine cars. It's a real stretch to kind of get it all back there. So I'm just running it off a separate battery. That just plugs in the side. And then you can turn on the pump and then turn on the smoke there. Baby oil, of course, is the goût du jour. Then to fill this, it comes with this little handy funnel. And it doesn't take very much at all. Your baby oil will last a long time. The rest of the accessories are ways to seal the diagnostic leak detector onto whatever it is you're trying to test. The first one is just this simple sleeve that you could stretch over something. Next one's kind of going the other way. You could use that to fill a space, and then you connect the fog machine to that little hose. And then this is the one we're going to use, and you just inflate that to fill up whatever hole you're trying to fill, and then you connect the hose onto that, and then that's it.
Buongiorno to James, Newman, and Zoe in Naples, Italy.
Next up then, for my fellow impatient people, time trials. If you'll cast your mind back, our pickle-based solution took about 5 minutes to generate enough smoke to work with. You can just begin to see smoke at 10 seconds, and by 20 seconds, it's ready to rock. Here we are then, back in the tiny garage with a brand new intake manifold adapter, that plastic L-shaped thingy. Attaching it, first thing I notice is that hose goes in much smoother and much tighter, so that's encouraging. Connecting our smoke tester, and there's smoke, we're off. Now this time it's fairly obvious. It's coming out of that gap on one side. Kind of pretty, but disastrous at the same time. I suspect that the bolt on that side might be slightly stripped and contributing to our issues, but further investigation is required. For the now, I decided to go one step further than just that little O-ring, and I made a makeshift gasket out of a Ziploc bag. Don't judge me, this is temporary. Probably. Here we go, one Ziploc bag and a scalpel later. The pièce de résistance is a little bit of fire. Any excuse for fire, you know. There we go, that will work. The idea here is to at least stop it leaking for now, and that little gasket and the new manifold adapter took care of that leak, and so now we can see if the smoke is coming from somewhere else. And behold, there is more. An ethereal gift from the nether regions, and no matter how hard I probe with my borescope, I can't figure out where it's coming from. It's in the very back somewhere. Oh dear. That mystery vacuum leak was the third and final reason why it was just easier to take the engine out to make sure that we can fix the problems properly. It wasn't all bad news though. Thankfully, Kelsey had the time and the inclination to do a bit of Porsche vacuum leak diagnosis. We're starting off here by removing the 4 bolts that hold the throttle body in position. They're all 10 mils. We're removing the throttle body just to find a regular old hole that we can fill with one of these ANCEL adapters that came in the diagnostic smoke tester kit. Once you get that last bolt out, you need to grab hold of the throttle body, as it will come free. Nice work, Kelsey.
Alright guys, here we go. So I'm going to take this, stuff it in there, blow it up. Take some time. Just keep pumping. Okay. Just good. Take this and this. Connect them together. And let's see if we have any leaks.
Within the first minute or so, you should start seeing some sort of smoke, if there's going to be any. We saw some in the air.
Oh, there's them up.
We sprung a leak. No stress. Kelsey's on it.
It's coming from over here. All right, the leak is right here.
That's my nether regions, folks.
It looks like ManinaGarage has a leak from his resonance tube.
Well, at least now we know, folks. Glass half full and all that. Thank you, Kelsey, for using the ANCEL Diagnostic Leak Tester to find our vacuum leak.
I would like if you would hit the like button. Thank you.
We're going to start off by removing that e-gas connector from the throttle body so we can just get that out of the way. We can see now that that resonance tube was bodge fixed, just like the intake manifold adapter, with that black rubbery goo. We're going to start off by just removing that vent pipe that goes to the AOS system. These hose clamps or Jubilee clips are 7 mils. Removing the vacuum line there that goes to the fuel pressure regulator. On the other side is the black and white one-way valve, so we're removing that vacuum line from the cuff also. And then just squeezing those cuffs together makes it easy to remove that front intake. The resonance tube in the rear, though, doesn't seem to play by the same rules. I could be wrong, but it just seems like I'm not going to be able to squeeze those towards the middle. Might seem a little extreme, but actually it's pretty easy. These 10 mils that hold that plastic intake together, if I just loosen them, I'll be able to get some movement here and get that resonance tube in and out, no problem. I'm also taking out that 10 mil that holds the B+ junction box onto that intake manifold. And that was it. A little bit of a wiggle here and a little bit of a wiggle there, and it wanted to come free. Okay folks, now here we go. This is our new one, all greased up and ready to go, but there's a little bit of a problem. Yes, little being the operative word. It's the wrong size. It turns out I know now that the Porsche dealer sold me one for a Boxster, not a Carrera. 2 trips to the Porsche dealer in 1 week is just not possible. No! Kelsey, give him the bad news.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Like, what was I doing? I'm like, how did I make that look so cute and effortless? I would like, if you would like. Yeah. Just pretending to drive away. Oh, it got stuck.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay, one more time. Buongiorno to James, Newman, and Zoe, and Naples. Let me do it again.
I think that must be in Alaska.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Buongiorno to. Okay. Ooh. Hello, Bob Miller in Germany.